Good morning, Judy here from Thistledew Creations. I've been up early this morning. It's Sunday morning and wasn't really able to film because hubby was hanging around watching his YouTube videos. Really got to get him to wear his headphones. So anyway, I started doing some tearing of my music paper because I'm working on some ideas in my head for music paper with roses. So I've got this really old world famous songs collection. It was quite thick. The spine of it is about 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8, probably about 1/2 inch. Anyway, I've used a lot out of it already, but I'm just trimming up some small strips of music paper with the tear ruler and saving all of the tops and bottoms and edges of the pages as well. So I'll find a bunch of different ways to use them. So I'm just using this longer tear ruler that I got from Temu. I really like this one. It has two different, a very fine one and very rough. I use the fine one more often. And I'm just cutting off or tearing off all the edges around the outside, going pretty close to the edges of the music. So that's giving me some blank bits. And then I look at both sides, see if there's a title I want to keep. I don't really care with that one. I'll look and see which music looks prettier sometimes too, and trim that. So the idea for this, doing this now is just because I really couldn't film. I didn't want to get into something too creative. And I can do this while he's making noise and kind of be prepping for a project. So he just slipped out the door. I thought, oh, I'm just going to show them what I'm doing. And so taking the bottom edges off, the side edges. Some of these edges have nice coloring on the very edge of them. And then this edge is where it's torn out of the book. Some of those have a nice curling on them that I want to keep. And then like I said, I'll look at both sides. I find that this music looks prettier than this music. Something about the size of the notes or something. So I'm going to save that title, My Sweetheart's the Man in the Moon. And then as I come to it, I've also saved things like this, Jingle Bells and Auld Lang Syne. I'll put that in with my Christmas stuff. And then I saved a few nursery rhyme songs as well, because they're just short. And then the rest of it's just going in the pile. I'll sit in front of the television tonight and I'll ink a bunch of edges. That's what I did last night, but not on music paper. I did it on some wrapping paper last night. Where is my little dog gone? I wouldn't mind saving that. I could save that whole song, actually. It's short. And I'll just go ahead and tear all three sides. And then that gives me some shorter strips. And then this grandfather's clock, I wouldn't mind saving. I sometimes work with clock images. And then I'll just go ahead and tear these sides off and then see which side I want to save. It's the song of Grandfather's Clock on that side. I think I'm going to use this side that doesn't have so much writing, so much text. In the end, I could use either side. When I go to ink them, I will take a look at both sides to see which side I'm more likely to want to use. Over the river and through the woods. I think I'll save like the first line of that. rest. It's just kind of generic. It's nice to have this music paper already torn up and inked. When you're doing collages, it makes it a lot quicker to do a collage if you've already got some pieces torn and inked. And so I'm leaving these ones long, but in my music drawer, I have a little box with some smaller pieces torn up into sort of this sort of size for smaller projects. And see, I've got these ones all inked. That's sort of the last of what's left of the small pieces. So I might cut a bunch that are about the size of this box as well and refill it. Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? There is a tavern in the town. That would be good for St. Paddy's Day. And then these bottom where they show the copyright, etc., I save those as well. I find those interesting to make tickets and tags and stuff with. I have a large Rubbermaid tote full of music, so I'm not too worried about tearing it up. I purchased the big tote full of music for around $10, and I've already sold several music books out of it that were in really good shape and recognizable books. I listed them on Etsy and sold them for $10 each. I think 3 or 4 of them have sold now. So I've done all right on it. Sweet Genevieve. There's hubby coming in, probably with some firewood. Keeping me warm. It's extremely cold here again today. I'm just struggling to keep warm. We live in an old farmhouse, so we heat with wood. It's a constant battle in the winter to keep things going. It's between snow removal and keeping the fires going. He enjoys the winter or the summer chores a lot better. He likes cutting grass. Way more than he likes plowing snow. I'm just glad I don't have to do it, either one. I have cut the grass in the past, but see, now this side is a little more interesting looking. So I'm gonna kind of cut it to keep these. These are a bit wider, that's okay. I've got all different widths. Mostly they're about 1.5 inches wide. These ones are a little wider. I'll just put them on the bottom of the pile. Kingdom Comin'. A lot of songs I've never heard of, which is fine. Turkey in the Straw. Never heard of that one. The books belonged to a piano teacher, sorry. And her daughter was selling them. I guess the piano teacher had passed. So I made sure I told her what I was going to do with them. She did not have a problem with them being used for crafts. As long as they got used and not thrown away, is what she said. Little brown jug, I definitely want that. It was not so to be. Interesting title. And see 3 strips there. So then I'll use these for masterboards and all sorts of collage and making tags and you kind of get into a rhythm and you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. I have some smaller pieces too that I'll save. So 1, 2, 4 strips there. You love me then as now. I might as well save that title. Just realized that I'm filming. Trying to put the firewood beside the wood stove quietly. Forsaken, that's kind of a sad word. So now what I think I'll do is I've got quite a pile, about 1.5 inches high, of music torn across the page. And now I think I will do some the other direction. So I'm still going to take these top and bottom of the page off, because like I said, there's interesting things on them. And then I'll take the sides off. And then instead of going across the page, I'm going to rip up and down like this. And I'll just kind of lining it up with whatever line I see, sort of straight. And try to get 4. I might do some with 3 and some with 4. So I've got some narrow ones and some wide ones. And then they can be used in a different way. It'll give a different look having it going that way. Make sure I'm still on screen here. Have a drink of my cold coffee. I know this is loud, so I'm very sorry if it's annoying to you. I don't really think this is a good one to watch if you're sensitive to that kind of noise. But it does give you an idea of how you can kind of mass make or make your collaging easier. I'll do a few skinny ones with this. And every time I get my strips used up, I go and make more. So I'll have lots of strips for paper weaving. Got a couple of examples here where I've woven the paper that I've cut off, torn off the edges. Makes for very textural, interesting tags and so on. Now, to be fair, I've only woven it. I haven't used it yet. Maybe that'll be a video I can do soon. I did the weaving when I was at my dad's in front of the television. I don't know. I don't think I'll go through this whole book. So these ones, I may go through and harvest words out of those titles and make tags and tickets out of these bottom pieces. And maybe stamp some words and letters and numbers on these plain strips would be another way to use them. I think here I'm going to do 3 wider strips. Again, I think I'll do 3 fairly wide strips here. These might be good. Actually, let's size some to fit that little box. I can put these ones, these are kind of little bits of scraps that I've collected. I'm just going to throw them in the drawer for now. And let's work on filling this box up with just the exact size that fits in it, sort of thing. Now the Maple Leaf Forever I want to save, and Red, White, and Blue probably should save the whole page. And Oh Canada, I'll put those in July. Dixieland, I will put those in my summertime or July or patriotic category. Home Sweet Home I should probably save. And then, not really starting with the full page here, but if I just sort of look at how wide the box is, I want to be about here. And then this way, I want to be about here. See how that fits in. Pretty good. So I'll use that as my sizer. That's going to be just a little bigger. It still fits in. Okay, so I'm just going to throw it in the bottom of the box. And then I'll still do strips where strips are more appropriate. Like here where I've cut that title out of the middle of the page. That gives me a skinny strip, which is fine. Star Spangled Banner. Save that one as well. Oh, Susanna, that's an old fave. My old Kentucky home. So here I've been doing it this way first, and that way the side piece that I get off is not as long, not as hard to store. And I love these pieces that have this curling. I want to do a thing where you make like a ruffle out of them. So you just take a whole bunch of them and put them side by side and make a little ruffle. So here, I get these edges taken off and then grab my sample. So this one I had going this way, but it doesn't have to. I can get two if I go this way. And then I can stack those up and tear two at once. That one was a little bit wide. And then if these fit in the box, I'll just go ahead and put them in. This one's a little wide. I think I wouldn't mind keeping it. It's more of a square shape. It'll just barely squeeze in there. Town races. And again, I go just a touch wider than this, and I get two pieces that are good. And then I'm going to get two more that are kind of square. I do kind of like that shape, so I'm going to keep them. I don't know if you can see it, but my fingernail is stained from inking last night. I got it mostly off my fingers. It makes it look like I smoke or something sometimes. Just a little bit wider. So that fills that box up pretty fast. Actually just a little wider. I could use the lid of the box because it's just that bit wider. That might make a difference. Yep. And then I can put those little scraps back in this box because otherwise they're just going to be running loose in that drawer. Beautiful Dreamer. It's a beautiful song. Polly Wolly Doodle. And I could do some this way and get some little rectangles. So those small ones can go in the small box, and these ones can go in the big box. So do take some time and rip yourself some strips. If you've got an old music book that you're afraid to rip into, just rip it up, use it up. Don't be afraid, and you'll actually use them more if you have them pre-cut. So get her done. If you like seeing these kinds of videos where it's just a bit of an idea, a little bit of prep work instead of a major project, just an idea that you can build on, then like, comment, share, and subscribe. Most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.